In a previous episode at Triumph Johannesburg, we tested the two-speed triples back-to-back, the RS versus the RR. And today we're back here at Triumph Johannesburg, and the reason that brings us here today is the testing of the two Triumph Tiger 900s back-to-back. You have here in the white the Triumph Tiger 900, but the Rally Pro model, and this red one being the Triumph Tiger 900, the GT Pro. Let's have a look at what makes these two bikes so different yet so unique. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump on each one of these bikes back to back and see how they perform, which one works better where. Just cosmetically, before we do that, you can clearly see that the white one, the Rally Pro, has spoked or laced wheels, 21-inch in front and 17 at the back, tubeless. Now going to the GT Pro, you can see it's an aluminium, a mag wheel front and back, not a 21 in front, but a 19-inch and a 17-inch at the back. So that immediately tells you that the Rally Pro is the more off-road focused adventure bike, and this is the more touring adventure focused bike. Motor wise, they're exactly the same. Suspension, the travel is less on the GT, more travel on the Rally Pro. Also manual adjustment front and back, manual adjustment front. However, you have an electronic rear suspension that you can set on the fly on the GT. The seat height being lower by 40mm on the GT versus the Rally Pro, and that's obvious because of the more suspension travel, 250mm front and back on this particular one. Also, the Rally has a standard nerve bar bash plate, and on this GT it has been fitted, but it's an optional extra on the bike. Then the option on this Rally Pro would be this top box and the backrest. It's just nice to see the different options. I mean, Triumph has many accessories for each one of their models, and you can really spec these bikes and make them your own. So quick glance, you can clearly see this is the more off-road focused adventure bike, the touring adventure bike. I think what we're going to do is let's start off with the Rally Pro, get on that one, go for a ride, look at it in more detail, and then we'll do the GT Pro after that. I have been riding around with this bike a little bit, familiarizing myself, and it is a stunning bike, I must say. Really enjoying it. But let's start with the specs and then I'll take you for a ride with her. Starting off with this motor, it is a 4-stroke transverse 3-cylinder, double overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, 888cc, Euro 5 compliant, liquid cooled, split radiator, triple header coming out 3-into-1, all stainless steel exhaust. Now in this middleweight adventure class, most of the opposition are parallel twins, and the reason for the twin is you want the low down grunt. If you're in soft sand, you don't want to spin her up and dig yourself in deeper. Now what Triumph has done with their triple, they have made a big bang triple, a cross plane T-plane crank, which means you have the best of both worlds. You have that low down grunt, so you can dig yourself out of soft sand and have the top end of the bigger bikes screaming along the highway. So stunning motor, producing 94 horsepower at 8,750 RPM and 87 Newton meters at 7,500 RPM. 6-speed final drive chain. The weight of this Rally Pro is 201 kilograms, which is 7 kilos heavier than the GT Pro. GT Pro coming in at 194. The fuel tank capacity is 20 liters, so it gives you a pretty decent range. The next thing with this Rally Pro, you have a proper off-road suspension, 250mm travel front and rear. Now the front being a shower off-road competition, fully adjustable, but a manually adjustable up on top. The rears also manually adjustable, 250mm travel, proper kit. Your braking Brembo dual disc in front, 4-piston calipers, 320mm disc at the back. You have a 255 disc Brembo as well. Everything you would wish for. Spoked wheels, 21-inch front, shod with a 90, a 17-inch rear, shod with a 150mm wheel, and everything center stand, up and down, quick shifters. The off-road, you have these foot pegs with the rubber inserts removable. These brake and levers are foldable so you don't damage them. Also, when you pick it up, turn it right around and drop it, it is about 10mm higher, which is good for the standing position. If you bring it up and you rotate it, right round, you will see in this position is just below, which is good for the seated position. Now you can clearly see very focused off-road bike, looks good, is really slim, this being the Rally Pro. Now let's have a look at the electronics on this bike. But before we get there, you have heated grips as standard and heated seat for the rider and pillion as standard. And if you look here, the heated seat for the pillion, auxiliary for the pillion, heated seat up front for the rider, heated grips up in front here, and as we switch on, you see this monster TFT display, absolutely stunning. Everything clearly visible, you can toggle through up in the top bar, you can see colors, you can change your range, reset everything, you can go through your phone, your music, your navigation, here even Gopro Connectivity, which you can control from your dash, and everything is controllable through this toggle switch, 5-way, left, right, up, down, and push in. And having a look at the front, all the lighting is LED daytime riding light, LED fog lights. The indicators are an accessory. If you have a look, this is an accessory by Triumph, the Audi type directional indicators. So everything catered for. Your rider modes on this bike, you have 6 rider modes, one more than you have on the GT, and that would be rain, road, sport, off-road, custom, and your 6th one being the off-road pro on this bike. So everything, tire monitors, heated grips, heated seat front and rear, and LED lighting. You have your smartphone charger under the seat because you've got your Bluetooth connectivity, and if your phone goes down, you can actually charge your smartphone under the seat at the back. Cruise control on this bike, I think everything is catered for on this bike, and as mentioned earlier, the bash blade and the nerve bars are standard on this bike. Quick shifters up and down, standard as well. I think let's jump on her, go for a little ride. Let me share with you how wonderful this experience is, and then we go pick up the GT Pro. This is a tall bike. If you have a look, if I stop here at the robot, I am on tiptoes, slightly bent, knees, but it's a light bike. It hides its weight, center of gravity seems low, really comfort inspiring, and I must say I'm enjoying this tall bike. You're sitting on top of the world. The adjustable screen looks small but very efficient. If I move this away and down, it's in the lower position. I can move it while I'm on the go. Robots out, typical South Africa. If I move this out and pull it up, it's in the upper position, and here we go. You really don't have to rev this bike from very, very low RPMs. It doesn't splutter, it just rolls out nicely. As I pulled off, it was immediately clear that I don't have any fear of stalling this bike. It just runs so nicely. The TFT display is massive, but definitely very clear. If we go onto the highway quickly, run her a bit on the highway, and see how she rolls out. We're going to be a bit naughty over here and just give it some. Very busy, which is a good indicator how this thing would perform as a commuter. Very busy. I'm misbehaving just a little bit. Don't do like I do. But this is why we ride bike. Traffic does not bother us so much. Definitely the controls, if you look at the controls, it's a very busy cluster. You have to get used to it and understand it. The right side not so busy, but looking busy, but really easy. This is your main switch, 5-way, left, right, up, down, 4 ways, and then enter, push in. GoPro, rider modes, everything is quickly adjustable here. It's an overcast day, so quite crisp. I have not used the gloves today because I wanted to see how useful these guards are if my hands get cold. They are getting a little bit cold on the top, but my fingers are not getting cold, so they're not freezing off. Very effective. This shield, my chest is not cold, I must say. My shoulders maybe are feeling a little bit, but awesome riding position. Upright, there's no pressure on the palms of my hands or my forearms or my wrists or my lower back. Sitting very comfortably upright. I think what we'll do is we'll run off the highway here, run through a traffic circle or two. Simulation of going to work every day, being in a bit of a hurry. This is a very confidence-inspiring bike, handling-wise, everything. You'd think with 250mm suspension travel, front and rear, it would wallow around and hop around and bounce you around on the seat, but not at all. Stiffly sprung as it is. I didn't play around much with it, but I think this is standard settings are really great for road use. You could soften it up if you're going off-road or something like that, but this is just fantastic for running around town. And most of these bikes are obviously used as adventure bike, off-road, but 80% of their life they're going to be spending on tar roads, commuting you or touring you around. So this is what we're testing her for today. As you can see, lane splitting, not a problem at all. If you look, if I sweep into this bend here, really great handling bike. As you roll on the power, good control. Quick shifter, super smooth. Super smooth. I must say that quick shifters are fantastic nowadays. So I change down. If you look at this, I'm in 6th gear. I drop it 1 and up again. Just smooth, seamless. It's like sequential nowadays. You have a lot of space on this bike. Not cramped in any way. You're not raked forward, leaning over, grabbing these handlebars far forward. They're nice and wide. You've got handlebar risers over here. Handlebars come up and back towards you a little bit. So just now when we're off the highway, I'm going to stand up and show you how comfortable it is when you're touring and you need to stand up, having been sitting too long, or else if you're off-road and you're standing on this bike, you can see how comfortable it is. Exceeding the speed limit, it happens all the time, and when you roll on, you can really, I'm not going to show you the speed, but I think this bike is governed just over 200 kilometers per hour, which is enough, really enough. If you want to run with the bigger adventure bikes, top gear, yeah, you might struggle a little bit, or if you want to run with super bikes, but you know, that's not what biking is all about, and that really gets overrated, top speed. So it's all about handling, fun factor, how a bike makes you feel, how comfortable you are, how long you can ride, how confident you are on the bike, and that's what it's about. And this is what this bike does so well. It hides its weight, it feels light, it's nimble, it is the lightweight, middleweight class, value for money for an adventure bike. This bike has everything on it. So all your creature comfort, And here we've even got a rain coming down now, but we have an adventure bike. That's what we do. Brakes are strong. Brakes are really strong. 2-finger braking. Smooth gear changes, effortless. Even the clutch, if you wish to use the clutch, it's 2-finger. It's very light. Brake, very progressive, no fade on it, and you can feel they are strong. Good control. ABS on the bike. We'll roll on over here. I must say, fantastic package. When you talk all-round package, I challenge you to, in the comments, let me know what do you think Triumph has omitted when it comes to standard features on a complete package on this Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro. And as mentioned, I'm going to stand up now. Quick shifter, changing gears again, and I am standing upright. Have a look how comfortable this is. Handlebars are high enough. I'm standing upright and reaching down. Just sit down, totally comfortable. Fantastic view, fantastic control of this bike. There we go. This bike just loves these corners. I can imagine this bike in the countryside, rolling on. The throttle response is so smooth and precise, you really know. And the brakes, 2-finger braking here. Right, now we're gonna ride the GT Pro. We had to take a little bit of a break because, as you can see, it rained. However, what we're going to do, first thing, we're gonna pull off in the rain mode, rider mode, and I'll show you how easy that is to set. Here you see we're in normal road mode. What we do is we push the M over here, it comes up, you toggle over to the left, rain, put it in, enter, and then you can see we're in rain mode. And here we go. The seat we did put in the higher of the two positions because I am 6 foot, so I think the 810 lower height would have been just a little bit too low for me. From the cockpit here, identical. You don't notice much difference. TFT is exactly the same. There it switched over from the dark to the light mode. Everything automatic. Rider modes, 5 rider modes on this bike. You don't have the Off-Road Pro because this is more of a touring based. Fully adjustable suspension in front, manual, and the rear is automatically adjustable, and you can adjust it on the fly. From really low RPMs, you can see this bike pulls out really nicely. The road is drying up, so we will change the rider mode as we're going on. Screen is fully adjustable, standard. If you push it forward and down, push it forward and up, very quick adjustment, and in this position, very effective when it comes to wind protection. Weather seems to have cleared up. We had a quick break and a quick coffee while we're riding in traffic. If I can just show you, it's set up to damping. If I just flip this toggle up, you can see SMS. It'll tell you on your phone you're receiving an SMS. While in motion you cannot read the SMS, it won't display it, but when you come to a standstill it'll display your SMS. Your Bluetooth connectivity is all there. If you flick down, you go to the damping. Here is this cool feature, your preload. If you look at preload and the first diagram, you can see single rider. Second diagram, you see the two helmets, you see rider with pillion, and then you see third picture is one rider with luggage, two riders with luggage, four. And you can just scroll through there and choose which one you want. We are on single rider setting, and that's how easy it is. Your pillion jumps on, flick of a button, you change that. Here we change the display, distance, average speed. What a cool TFT display. And as I mentioned, it looks really complicated, like you need a degree with these controls. Very busy. However, it is super simple once you get the hang of it. Don't be intimidated. It's one toggle lever here, and that is your, let's call it, master control. Everything happens through that switch. The fly-by-wire throttle, super smooth. And something that I noticed when riding the Rally Pro was that it sort of saves you from a stall. And when asking the very knowledgeable sales staff at Triumph Johannesburg, they told me that it actually, as you release the throttle, it automatically increases your revs, so it assists you, you won't stall this bike. Triumph have thought of everything. It's even at extremely low revs. See how the revs are three-dimensional, comes out. You can change your displays, obviously, like all of them, but this is a really unusual display. See how the revs build in blue. And this motor, the power curve is very linear, very, very linear. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to take that circle at the bottom and see if we can actually stall her, or how well that anti-stall works on this bike. So we're just going to park ourselves next to the road here. In first gear. I'm not touching the throttle. If you see, I'm just releasing. You saw the revs pick up, and this bike does it. It's fantastic. Let's do it again. I'm on a slight uphill. If you see, the bike's rolling backwards. I stop, just release the throttle. You see the rev just pick up ever so slightly. Fantastic, man. You won't stall this bike. Here we now have the Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro. Pretty much the same bike as the Rally Pro mechanically. It has the same 888 Transverse 3 motor, same. You have your really low down torque, you have your top end as well, your split radiator, your 3-into-1 headers, stainless steel exhaust on the side, your 6-speed box, final drive chain. Main differences would be your wheels. As you can see, the previous one had the spoke 21-inch front wheel. This has a 19-inch aluminium wheel in front and a 17 at the back, and it's shod with 100 in front, slightly wider, and a 150 at the back. Your next thing is your suspension. The Rally Pro has 250mm front and back. This has 180mm front and 170mm at the rear travel. It's Marzocchi forks, manually adjustable there, and the rear one is a full automatic suspension, and you can set it on the fly. Really stunning. You have your center stand at the bottom. You will see it has the same foot pegs with the rubber inserts. However, your brake is different. You don't have the off-road with the height adjustable foldable over here. You also see the subframe is removable should you have an off on this bike. You're not going to write the entire bike off. You can change the subframe at the back. Totally stacked with accessories. It has the same 94 horsepower's 87 newton meter power on it. The forks are slightly different. The seat height, instead of 850 to 870 adjustable, this is 810 to 830 millimeters. I have it in the higher position now at 830, as I am 6 foot, and it is really comfortable. I can still sit flat-footed on this bike. The brakes are identical to the Rally Pro. You have your 320mm double disc Brembo 4-piston calipers, dual up front. You have your 255mm disc at the back with your Brembos. Everything here, heated grips, heated seat for rider and pillion. Here is your switches for your pillion heating, your auxiliary for your pillion, your heating up front, your heated grips over here, and all the controls. Look at this stunning TFT, same as the Rally Pro. And here you can see you can toggle through this TFT as you just flip through. You can customize it. Here you go, you change the styles, whatever you want. You go for a split screen, there you go, you just flip it back to where it was if you like that. Here you go, that's your music. If you see top left hand corner, there's your music and your Gopro Connectivity here. It's the first in motorcycles that you can actually do your control for your GoPro off your controls on your handlebars, your GPS, which you can connect to your Triumph app, and your telephones, your SMS. When you're stationary, it'll actually display your SMS through the front. Your damping, you can go soft, comfort, normal. Fantastic, all electronic on the fly. Here's your preload, fantastic. One rider with pillion, single rider with luggage, with pillion and luggage. You just scroll through and select whatever you want and you adjust it, and you can do that on the fly. Stunning, stunning all the way. We can go to the front and you can see all the lighting is LED, daytime running lights. You've got your fog lights LED, and here we'll show you the standard indicators. Remember, the Rally Pro had the aftermarket Triumph LED, the Audi style directional indication. So these are the standard one, nothing wrong with these. All round same 20-liter tank capacity. This bike also comes standard with quick shifter up and down, and this is an adventure bike. It has luxury, it has technology, retro basics, pure off-road. It has everyday functionality in it. It has the tire pressure monitors in it, where you can see and monitor tire pressures from the dash up on top. It has the Bluetooth connectivity, where I showed you, you can see your SMSs and do your phone calls, all of that. Under the seat you have your smartphone charger, which you can do on the run and have it going. Your navigation you can run through your phone on the Triumph app. LED lighting all around. Cruise control on this bike. As mentioned earlier, 5 rider modes only. The only one omitted on this GT Pro is you don't have the Off-Road Pro. Other than that, the Nerf bar there and the bash plate at the bottom are extras from the Triumph Tiger catalog. Other than that, stock standard bike and super cool bike. I really enjoy these bikes. The seat height on this one, as mentioned earlier, is 810 to 830, where the Rally Pro was 850 to 870 in height. I think let's get on this bike. It seems to have dried out. The weather seems to be a bit better, so let's put it on road mode, go back onto the highway, run around, do some lane splitting and have some more fun. This quick shifter, if you look through the gears, is just so ultra smooth, and it's up and down. There we're 6th gear, up ahead at the stop street. I will just do the downshift. There you see 5th, 4th, 3rd, no clutch. Really impressive. Same seating position when you're riding. I definitely don't feel as tall and high up as I did feel on the Rally Pro, but same riding position, nice and wide handlebars, my elbows out. Feel like a little bit of the off-road adventure riding. This screen in the up position is fantastic. It's slim, so your shoulders do feel a little bit of the wind and get a bit of the buffeting, but not too badly. And my chest, being a cold day and wet day, as you can see, my chest is protected and I am comfortable on this bike. Bike is light, nimble, 7 kilograms lighter than the Rally Pro. This GT Pro is 194 kilograms dry weight and hides its weight really well as well. Bit of traffic here. And what we'll do now is we'll change the rider mode. We're still in the rain setting, so we push M over here and flick it over to the road. Let's just watch out what's happening here. There we go, and enter and let go of the throttle, and there it's selected. As easy as that. On the fly, we off our rain setting, roads are dry, roll on the throttle. I didn't have to downshift. It's really a pleasure to ride, and I could see myself comfortably sitting 5-6 hours a day on a bike like this, either one of these Triumph Tiger 900s. You can eat up the miles on a bike like this effortlessly, not having to stop every 200 kilometers or 100 kilometers stretching your legs. Even if I stand up on this bike, I stand up comfortably. If I look down, I'm standing, my hands are not cranked over forward. I can downshift from the standing position. I'm down to 4th, down to 3rd, and we can stand and stretch our backs. If you're riding gravel road or have been sitting for a long time and want to stretch out, definitely comfortable in the standing position, can go through the gears, touch the back brake. At my 6-foot frame, comfortable. And that is due to these handlebars coming up, nice handlebar raises, and overall the geometry of this bike is superb. Well thought out, attention to detail to everything. When it comes to a middleweight, middle class adventure bike in this segment, I think every box is ticked with a bike like this. Starting with your motor, that triple with a big bang triple, you have the blowdown torque to get out of sticky situations in gravel. You have the higher end, top end that you can really run open on the freeways. Stunning motor. You have your quick shifter, which helps you, even helps with fatigue, it helps with fun factor. The suspension is brilliant. Going to the Rally Pro, suspension is just brilliant. 250 travel front and rear, stunning competition. Shower forks. With this one, I love the full automatic rear suspension and how you can set it from the front. Everything is on this bike, from your Bluetooth connectivity, your GoPro, your heated grips, your heated seat for rider and pillion. What else? Your horsepower, your torque curve, your fuel tank size, your range. I think all the boxes are ticked. Triumph has accessories for everything. Your panniers, your backrests, your lighting is spot on, daytime riding light. You have everything fully adjustable. Your rider modes that help you through all the different weathers. You have stunning brakes, 2-finger braking, no fade on it, Brembo brakes, stunning. Your connectivity to your phone on longer rides, you're available on the phone. Your SMSs, you can see if something urgent's coming through and want to stop, read, connect. If you're out far away and your phone dies, you can charge it on this bike. Your screen is there, your fog lights are there. It's all round ergonomically super comfortable. There's no stress or strain on the palms of your hands, your forearms, or your lower back. However, if you do want to stand up and stretch, you can do that. If you see here, I am flat-footed, bent knee, and just super comfortable. Range on this bike is fantastic. TFT is massive. Even if you're getting tired, you don't have to lean forward and look into it. It is clearly visible. The power, like I mentioned, this anti-stall, if you want to call it, where just on release of the clutch, it just assists with the raising of the revs. It's just brilliant. So if you're in traffic and you're just not paying attention at that split second, you're not going to stall. It just helps you that little bit. Just phenomenal bike, these Triumph Tiger 900s. I hope you enjoyed this review with us of these two Triumph Tiger 900s, the Rally Pro and the GT Pro. Please remember to give us a like, a thumbs up, and help us build this channel by hitting the subscribe button, and if you like, the reminder bell, so you're always reminded when we're uploading new content.